What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning KiETH One Time Thurman. You know, KiETH Thurman took his first defeat by the hands of Manny Pacquiao in a spectacular fight. It was a very action-packed fight. It gave me a lot of satisfaction as a fight fan. I loved every minute of it. I went live, by the way. It was awesome. It was massive. It was very, very entertaining. And one thing I can say about KiETH Thurman, he earned a lot of respect with me, you know, regardless of the trash talk, regardless of what he, said out of his mouth. He's a showman and he can fight too. A lot of people, including myself, criticized KiETH Thurman because of his tactics, the way he was thinking about boxing. Okay. Well, the question is now, since he took that loss, where does he go from here? Where does he go from that loss? You know what I mean? Does he regain this hunger like he used to have a couple years ago? You better not duck me, son. That guy? Okay. If that defeat doesn't energize him or motivate him to become that old KiETH, you better not duck me, son, Thurman, nothing will. So just like when Joshua took his first loss, okay, I said the same thing. It's where do they go from here after that loss? You know, it's cool when you're undefeated. You never know what it's like to lose or take an L. But now you know. Now, to KiETH Thurman, where does he go? Logically, I heard him shooting for the rematch. Broner called him out. I would understand him wanting a rematch, and it could be justified, honestly, because KiETH Thurman, it was a split decision loss. It wasn't like it was a, unanimous decision, right? One of those judges thought KiETH Thurman won. So again, I have friends that thought KiETH Thurman won. I don't personally think that, but I thought it was close. I seen KiETH Thurman, fighting back, rallying back. When Manny started to slow down, he took charge in the later rounds. Manny Pacquiao swept the first of the rounds. He came back in the later rounds. You know what I mean? We could say that same thing about Andre Ward and Kovalev won, right? And what happened? They ran it back, didn't they? They did. So I could see why a KiETH Thurman versus Manny Pacquiao rematch would be something that's on KiETH Thurman's agenda. Again, you know what I mean? You get another payday. You get, he might get 7-8 million this time instead of the 5. Manny Pacquiao goes on, and they fight again. So he could always fight Errol Spence. He could fight Danny Garcia in a rematch. He could fight Sean Porter in a rematch. He could, KiETH Thurman he has a lot of things he can do still without that belt. You know what I mean? With that one loss, that really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter with that one loss. So he has a lot of places that he can't go. They got enough stable of fighters over there. But, I hope this motivates KiETH, this loss, to start fighting the best or wanting to fight the best, regardless of the paycheck, this, that, and the other. KiETH Thurman said it himself. He got an O and he ain't afraid to let it go. It's gone. Okay, so what are we going to do from here? Are we going to go back to fighting these guys or not fighting at all? Is that the KiETH Thurman we're going to see? Is that the KiETH Thurman that exists to this day? Right? We will see. But as far as KiETH Thurman, I think he can fight anyone he wants to. I really do believe that. And I think he can make a comeback, but the desire, the drive has to be there. If that's not in there, not taken away from his performance, okay? He was just slightly beaten by the better man. And he wasn't in there with some regular person. You know what I mean? He was in there with a legend that still loves to box. The question is, does Keith Thurman love to box? That's the question we ask ourselves. So before we even know where Keith Thurman goes, we need to see if those attributes are there, if they rekindle. If they haven't, we won't see those same Keith Thurman. He'll just fade out of memory. People will stop talking about him. People will stop looking for him. That'll be it. You might see him at a press conference or something, at a fight or whatnot, wearing a suit, looking with the Steven Seagal ponytail. You might see that, but you ain't gonna see that same guy that was calling out Paula Malignaggi, Amir Khan, Floyd Money Mayweather, Canelo Alvarez. He was hungry. He was a junkyard dog. He wanted those fights, and those fights weren't permitted to him. Okay, so it is what it is. Okay, well, you guys tell me what you think. Where does Keith Thurman go from here? Does he does this put him back where he needs to be? Did this loss wake him up? Should he fight or push for a rematch with him and Manny Pacquiao? Should he fight Adrian Broner? You guys tell me what you think. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.